and it survived both economic and wartime disaster. That survival can only be enhanced by the prestige of producing a film at Pinewood. Alfred Hitchcock's Young and Innocent, as well as Frenzy, were produced there. All of the James Bond films are done at Pinewood, as well as a line of television shows such as Space 1999 and The New Avengers. Cyril Howard has been managing director at Pinewood for 38 years, and he's seen a lot happen during that time.
We built what is now nationally known, internationally known as the biggest stage in the world, 007 stage. And on it we had to build 3 life-size submarines, which we did. And we were due to shoot there on December the 6th in 1976. And we thought that it was such a fantastic set that we'd get about 400 VIPs onto the stage and a bit of a sort of a champagne party and sort of send it off. It was a good set. And Harold Wilson, who was then our Prime Minister, your President, came along and he stood on one of the subs and made his speech. And the producer's wife, Cubby Broccola's wife, it fell to her to sort of crash a bottle of champagne against one of the submarines. And that was fine. What hardly anybody knew, apart from a few privileged people, was that as she smashed this, so outside the stage, the submarine through hawsers was pulled, and it literally left port. All this in a stage.
Today, an abundance of American filmmakers are using Pinewood's facilities. The 100 acres of countryside surrounding the complex seem to be more appealing than the hustle of L.A.
Red light, please. We run a rehearsal, please. Right, 461, take 1.
Action camera. Carol. Okay. Up to Carol's face. Yeah. Carol looks at her for a moment. Then you hear Jan muttering. Cut.
The film is Watcher in the Woods, a new Walt Disney production shooting at Pinewood. It stars Betty Davis as the gruesome keeper of a supernatural secret and Carol Baker, who gets the brunt of Betty's wrath.
Basically, it's the story of 2 children who get involved with the supernatural. And David McCullum and I play the parents of these 2 girls, 17 and 9. And Betty Davis is the rather menacing lady who lives in the cottage next door.
Carol has worked in studios all over the world, including Hollywood, New York, and Italy. Although there are similarities, she still finds Pinewood a bit more exclusive.
Well, I think Pinewood seems very much to me like Hollywood studios. I've made, in the last 10 years, I've made about 25 films in Italy. Now, it's quite different from the Italian studios, but then anything would be. And the studios in New York, where I've made 2 films, are not nearly as elegant as Pinewood or as the Hollywood studios are.
As many as 5 different films can be shooting at the same time at Pinewood. When we visited the studios, the facility was at capacity with only 3. The reason so few could fill the complex is that one very large budget film is taking up 3 whole stages.
This is where they're building the Fortress of Solitude, which is Superman's home on Earth. It's like an ice palace. They have to cover all this wood with false snow. It's supposed to be made of ice. And it was in Superman 1, and now they're having to rebuild it again for Superman 2.
Pat O'Reilly is the unit publicist for Superman 2. Unfortunately, the stars and crew were on location at Niagara Falls, but Pat allowed us to see the building of this enormous set in one of Pinewood's sound stages.
Actually, it was made, I think, in about March 1977 at Shepperton Studios, which is a different studio complex. Superman 1 started there, and now we're based at Pinewood, so they've got to rebuild it.
What will they be doing on this new set in the movie?
A couple of scenes where Superman goes back to talk to his parents, and then he's followed by the villains, and there's a big confrontation between Superman and all the villains who feature largely in Superman 2.
This is not the only set that Superman is working on in Pinewood.
No. Lots of interiors are built here. One which they'll be using early next month is the interior of the Daily Planet.
Lois Lane, say hello to Clark Kent. Told you one, Pete.
John Victor Smith has the difficult task of weeding through hundreds of thousands of feet of film to end up with the version of Superman you'll see in the theater. This may seem like a Herculean job to you, but John makes it seem easy.
I think, we are all very pleased with the way things are going, and we all expect it to be a very exciting film. And obviously we are looking forward very much to seeing it completed, but, there's a lot of hard work between now and then, and, so we just get on with it.
Since 1936, Pinewood Studios seem to have accomplished just what it set out to do, produce highly competitive and polished films while maintaining the prestige characteristic of the British. And obviously, the American film companies are aware of this, since the stages are constantly filled with Warner Brothers, Walt Disney, or any number of other U.S. companies.
The total satisfaction is when I've got 5 films going at once, about 4 in the cutting rooms, 3 knocking on my door, the stages are full, and everybody is working to the optimum, and I've just completed my latest wage deal, so that's all right. That's total happiness, that's fulfillment.
Want to know when that movie you saw being made in our story is going to be released. Well, we understand Watcher in the Woods will be released about May or June of next year. In just a moment, Steve will have the PM Magazine departments.